Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering what on earth your body is doing? Maybe you thought it was anxiety, or that something might be wrong with your health. Well, you're not alone. And here's the twist. Waking up at 3 a.m. after 60 might not be a bad sign at all. In fact, in some cases, it could be your body telling you something good. Stick with me, because tip number 4 is something most doctors rarely talk about, but it could completely change how you feel about your nighttime wake-ups. And hey, if you're new here, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so we can keep sharing these life-changing wellness tips each week. Let's face it, sleep can get more complicated as we age. You may fall asleep fine, only to wake up in the early hours, mind buzzing, body restless, and wondering, why now? What changed? I remember chatting with my neighbor, George. He's 71 and sharp as ever, but every morning, like clockwork, he's up at 3:07 a.m. He used to get frustrated, even worried, but once we dug a little deeper, he realized those wake-ups were actually trying to tell him something. In today's video, we're going to unpack 5 surprising reasons why waking up at 3 a.m. after 60 might not be the problem you think it is. In fact, it could be a sign of something positive, whether it's your body's natural rhythm adjusting or even hidden emotional growth. So let's make sense of these restless nights, because once you understand them, you'll be able to work with your body instead of against it. Reason number 1, your sleep cycles are evolving, and that's normal. As we age, our sleep architecture, the pattern and depth of our sleep, undergoes a natural transformation. The deep, uninterrupted 8-hour slumber that many of us enjoyed in our 20s and 30s becomes less common in our 60s and beyond. That's not a flaw. It's part of how the aging brain functions. Specifically, after the age of 60, we spend less time in deep, restorative sleep stages, like slow-wave sleep, and more time in lighter stages. This makes it easier for minor internal signals like a full bladder, a small pain, or even a subtle shift in body temperature to briefly wake us. Your body isn't doing anything wrong by waking you at 2 or 3 a.m. It's simply transitioning between lighter stages of sleep, which is a common and expected shift later in life. This is a key reason why older adults tend to wake up more often during the night, even if they feel tired the next day. Think of sleep as waves on a beach. In youth, the waves are long and deep, carrying us far from shore. As we grow older, those waves become gentler and shallower. We still ride them, but we come back to the surface more often. That surface is 3 a.m. for many. The important thing is not to panic when you wake up, because the stress of worrying about being awake can make falling back asleep even harder. Understanding that this is normal physiology helps reduce anxiety and allows you to respond more gently. Real-life example. Take Maria, 68. She used to panic every time she woke up early, but once she understood this natural change, she stopped fighting it. She began keeping a gentle routine, reading or journaling for 15 minutes, and her stress melted away. So if you've been blaming yourself for these changes, let go of that guilt. This is your brain adapting, not malfunctioning. It's not about broken sleep. It's about a new kind of rhythm that your body is learning to live with. Reason number 2, your brain's processing power is hard at work. Here's something fascinating. Studies show that the early morning hours, around 3 a.m., are prime time for memory consolidation and emotional processing. In fact, as we age, our brains often enter a highly active state during this time, even though we might think we're still sound asleep. For those over 60, the brain is particularly busy during these early hours, engaging in a process called slow-wave sleep, a deeper stage of sleep that plays a major role in memory retention and emotional regulation. But during this time, the brain doesn't just rest. It goes to work on a subconscious level, sorting through the events and emotions of the day. It's as if your mind is organizing and storing your life's experiences in a more deliberate and meaningful way. This process can often feel like your brain is sifting through old memories, unresolved emotions, or even small, unnoticed stressors. It's like your mind is reorganizing its emotional filing cabinet, pulling up one memory or unresolved feeling that needs attention. So, when you wake up unexpectedly around 3 a.m., it's not just random, it's your brain actively sorting through what it's experienced. The emotional weight of these memories or thoughts can sometimes pull you out of sleep, creating a moment of wakefulness. Real life example. One woman wrote to me saying she always woke up thinking about her late husband, but when she started writing in a grief journal after waking, she found peace and slept better afterward. This simple therapeutic act allowed her to process her emotions more intentionally rather than letting them stir subconsciously in the middle of the night. But what if your wake-up time is actually a sign of physical healing? That's coming next. Reason number 3. Your body may be entering a healing state. Believe it or not, waking up at 3 a.m. could actually be your body's way of telling you it's working to heal. While it might feel disruptive, this early wake-up call isn't always a sign that something is wrong. It could be a sign that something is working. According to traditional Chinese medicine, the hours between 1 and 3 a.m. are when the liver is at its peak function. The liver plays a crucial role in detoxifying the blood, metabolizing nutrients, and balancing hormones. While this theory has ancient roots, modern science is beginning to explore similar patterns, especially how circadian rhythms affect organ function and metabolism. When your body is addressing issues like inflammation, digestion troubles, or hormonal imbalances, this internal work can sometimes trigger a light arousal from sleep. That's particularly true if you've had a late dinner, eaten foods that don't agree with you, or are taking medications that your liver is processing overnight. What may feel like restlessness or insomnia could, in fact, be your body entering a state of active repair. During these early morning hours, cellular regeneration, tissue repair, and hormone regulation often kick into higher gear, especially as we age, when healing processes can become more gradual and delicate. And sometimes, this healing effort nudges you awake, not because something's broken, but because your body is doing its job. Real life example. Harold, 74, had chronic bloating and joint pain, and every night at 3 a.m., boom, wide awake. After working with his doctor and adjusting his dinner timing, not only did his symptoms ease, his sleep became more peaceful too. So the next time you wake up around 3 a.m., instead of feeling frustrated, take a moment to think, maybe my body is healing. That quiet wakefulness might be part of something restorative, not disruptive. Reason number 4. You're experiencing a spiritual or psychological awakening. This one might feel a little unexpected, but it's something many older adults quietly experience, even if they don't always talk about it. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't always about the body. Sometimes it's the mind and spirit asking for attention. In our later years, life naturally slows down just enough to make space for reflection, insight, and deeper awareness. Without the daily noise of career pressures, raising kids, or a full schedule, many people find that their thoughts begin to rise to the surface during the stillness of early morning. Some researchers and psychologists refer to this phenomenon as entering a wisdom window, a quiet period, often around 3 a.m., when the brain is more attuned to introspection, creativity, and clarity. There are fewer distractions, the mind is more open, and thoughts can feel more meaningful. This isn't just about restlessness, it's about connecting inward in a new, deeper way. For many, this gentle awakening isn't filled with stress or anxiety. It's calm, almost purposeful. A moment of stillness that feels almost sacred. And this experience can grow more common with age, especially as emotional maturity deepens and life experiences settle into something richer. You might find yourself thinking about your purpose, creative ideas, or even past memories in a new light. And rather than seeing it as a problem, this time can become an invitation to write, pray, reflect, or simply sit with your thoughts. Example: Betty, a 66-year-old artist, began painting again after years away from the canvas, simply because she kept waking up at 3 a.m. with vivid ideas. That time became her sanctuary. So if you're waking in those early hours and feel clear, alert, or inspired, it may not be a disturbance, it may be your inner voice finally having the space to speak. And that voice can guide you toward something deeply meaningful. But what if it's not your body or mind at all? What if something in your bedroom is silently interfering with your rest? Let's explore that next. Reason number 5. Environmental cues are sabotaging your sleep without you knowing. Sometimes waking up at 3 a.m. has nothing to do with your health, thoughts, or sleep cycles. It's your environment quietly working against you. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to small changes around us. Things that might not have bothered us in our 30s or 40s, like a bit of hallway light, a creaky floorboard, or a slight chill in the air, can now be enough to interrupt our sleep. Light is one of the biggest culprits. Even small amounts, like the glow from a street lamp, digital clock, or phone charger, can interfere with your brain's melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. And when light is present, your body thinks it's time to wake up. That's why people often find themselves wide awake around 3 or 4 a.m. and can't quite explain why. Sound is another hidden trigger. Our hearing may change with age, but our brain's ability to react to sudden or inconsistent noises remains sharp. The low hum of an appliance, the rustle of tree branches outside, or even a neighbor's car door can disturb light sleepers, especially during the later stages of the night when sleep is naturally lighter. And then there's temperature. Our bodies like to cool down at night, and if your room gets too warm or even too cold, it can jolt you awake without you realizing what caused it. This is especially true for people with circulation issues or those on medications that affect body temperature regulation. What's tricky is that many of these disruptions are subtle. They don't scream for attention. Instead, they quietly nudge you out of deep sleep, leaving you awake at the same time, night after night, puzzled and frustrated. Real life story. My Uncle Joe, 70, used to wake up every night like clockwork. Turns out, the streetlight outside his window was flickering all night. A simple blackout curtain changed everything. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m., take a fresh look at your bedroom. Check for light sources, listen for background noises, and notice how your body feels temperature-wise. Because sometimes the problem isn't within you. It's just a small, fixable detail around you. Let's take a breath and recap what we've learned. Waking at 3 a.m. can be a natural part of your aging sleep cycle. Your brain may be processing emotions or memories. Your body could be in a healing or detox phase. You might be experiencing a mental or spiritual awakening, or it might just be something simple in your environment. Whatever the reason, remember this: waking up at 3 a.m. doesn't mean you're broken. It means your body and mind are active, intelligent, and adjusting in powerful ways. You're not alone in this. And the more you understand what's happening, the more empowered you become to support your sleep and your life with care. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this video helped you feel a little more at peace with your sleep, or gave you a new perspective, give it a like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe. And hey, I'd love to hear your experience. Are you waking up at 3 a.m.? What's been working for you? Let's keep this beautiful conversation going. We're in this together.